Hello everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel, Chaos to Calm Budgets, my channel where I am documenting our debt-free journey through cash stuffing and budgeting. I am ready for a new month. I can't believe it's the beginning of August already. Where is the time going? So it's the big one. It's where I've drawn out all the cash and got my placeholders ready, and we're ready to get cash stuffing into the folders, ready to set our budget for the month. So without further ado, further ado, my words out properly. So this is for August. My goals for this month are, I'm going to try and buy in bulk to avoid any extra shopping trips. Buy less, choose well. I've got that, I chose that little sticker to put in there. I want to try and use cash apps and discounts where possible. I get a staff benefit where if you buy vouchers for certain shops, you get them at a certain percentage off. So things like Asda and Primark, Tesco, New Look, you know, a lot of the main sort of shops and things. So I'm going to try and use that. And when I'm looking to potentially take the kids out for, because it's been some holidays, I will look to see if I can get discounts and things like that for days out, etc, etc. I want to take a review of our spending and sinking funds, because if you'd seen my last video when I did my debt review for last month, I didn't feel that we were making enough payments to the debt. So I'm thinking, whilst I like the idea of having sinking funds and the cash envelopes to try and make sure that we're not going into more debt, I would like to be a little bit more put a little more oomph into our debt payoff. I found out this week that I am getting a pay rise. There was an agreed 3.2% increase in our wage, and that will be backdated from April to the end of August, and I'm due to get that at the end of this month, ready for September's pay. So I want to, instead of thinking, oh, I've got that extra cash, I deliberately want to earmark that for an extra debt payment somewhere, and make sure that I am not getting into lifestyle creep and putting that to the extra debt payment straight away. Because it's being backdated, I do expect a lump sum of around £500 or so, maybe 550. So I think that would be the amount that's needed to pay off the Argos card balance that we've got at the moment. So we'll get that one paid off, I think, with that already. But it would be good to basically make a conscious effort to review where that money's going to. So as you can see, I've already earmarked out all the different activities that we've got, all of our different events that we've got coming up. We go to Rome, me and my husband, on, what day we do in Rome? Tuesday, but we're leaving on Monday because we're flying from Gatwick, which is a bit far away for us. So we're breaking the trip up a little bit, leaving Monday, got a cheap hotel, staying over the night before, close by, about 50 minutes away from the airport. So yeah, that's what we're doing. And yes, I've got all the activities all earmarked there, all along here. That will all account for what's going in there. You will notice that my daughter's kitboxing is not logged on here. That's because we are now making monthly payments for that at the beginning of the month. So I put that over here for all the different outgoings that we've got ready for this month. And yeah, so let's do the fun bit. Let's count out the cash and get them into our envelopes ready for the month. Okay, put that to one side. So I separated things out. Oh, that sounds, I'm just going to move these out the way. I am hoping that you can see, just going to check that we're all in view. Yep, perfect. So I've already earmarked £600 for food, £80 for fuel, and £450 for fun. I've calculated that I would need £1,141 in cash. I have decided to keep those to placeholders as opposed to the cash. I think in previous videos I said that I was really struggling with using placeholders and not cash for that. I'm going to give it another go and try and play around with the denominations going into the envelopes. But overall, I've calculated our expenditure for food, food, fuel and fun, and our cash stuffing will be 2,271 in total. I've broken that down where I think I'll be spending the money week by week, and that does leave us a bit of a buffer because I think we are going away for a couple of weeks this month. So particularly our Turkey holiday is an all-inclusive, so we're not going to be using anything for groceries during that week. So we do have a bit of a buffer. I'm going to try and save that rather than dip into it, but we'll see how that goes as we go for that. So the fun money, Rome 200. I've got to meet up with some friends, and so for that debt sorted out, we might want some food or drink while we're out, so I've earmarked £30 for that. We're going to do a games night with some friends. We're going to stay over at theirs, so I thought if I'll treat ourselves to a nice bottle of wine and maybe some food that we'll take, so £20 earmarked for that. And our Turkey holiday, I don't think we're going to need an awful lot of spending money, but at least if we have a little bit of money there, £200 I've chosen to put aside for that for Turkey, our holiday in a few weeks' time. Okay, so let's count out the 1,141. Now, I think there is more than that here in the coins because I pulled out, I totally forgot I had some spare change in my purse. I don't know how I managed to forget that. So that was £4.50 extra there. And I have already calculated £80 for nails, as you can see, all Rome ready. Oranges for those Aperol spritz. And I also treated my daughter to her nails, so the money for the nails I've already taken out of here, so it won't be going in there, and there was an extra £1 change from that. So let's count out what we've got here. So first of all, 1,141 minus the 80 that I already pulled for mine and my daughter's nails, so that is 1,061. So that's the money that we will now need in here. So let's count that up. Start off with the 20s. These holders gone flying. That might just, there we go. And then so 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 40, 60, 83, 20, 40, 60, 84, 20, 40, 60, 85, 20, 40, 60, 80. So 580 there. And the £10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 200, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 300, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. I say 490, 390 I think that is. We'll soon find out. Put that to one side, and then the fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75 and 80. And then I need, so it's £1,050, so I need 11 in change. I think that's 10 there. Let's double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, so that's 450 there that I had spare change, and £1 then left from the change. So that can all go into my pound challenge. There we go. Right then, let's get stuffing. It all adds up. Let's start with the weeklies. So for football this week, we will need £176. So I'll try and keep these to 10s and 5s where possible. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130. Let's get some 5s in there. 135, 140, 145, 150, 155, 160, 165, 170, 175, and 6. In fact, I might, I've got 11, might change some of that up. Right, let's not confuse myself. Put 5 back. I'll just simply count out 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then another 5 back. 3, 2, yeah, and 5. There we go. Probably be better that this one is in coins. So the football covers, the football training sessions my son attends. He can attend up to 2 on a Saturday. He does 1 on a Monday, and then he doesn't do his Wednesday one anymore. So that's why it's not as much as it was last month. But my husband also tries to do his Dad Be Dads every week. It's twice a week. That's at £6 as well. So that covers all of that. Guides, I don't think there's anything, no, because she's now on the summer break from guides. Right, food, there is £600 in placeholders to go in here. So let's see what we can get here. So I think if we do 3 to 400 there, and then what have we got in 20s and 10s? Yeah, 400, 20, 40, 60, 80, 500. And then have I got any, what else have I got? 20, 40, 60, 80, 600. £600 in there. Fuel, we will do 80, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 80. There we go. Check that. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Lovely. And then the fun budget, I think, was 450. Just going to double check. 450. 100, so 300. What have I got left here? 10, 20, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. And then that's what it have to be. 300, 450 placeholders. So nothing in spent on credit, nothing to go back in the joint account, and that's the spare and leftover. So we'll come back to those ones in a bit. Next folder, let's do the medium term things, which is like our monthlies. So hair, this month we've got 120 to go in. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, and 20. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, and 20. And then I think it's about 45 in here already. Yeah. So that is for full head of hair, foils, haircut for me, my daughter's haircut, and my husband and son's barbers as well. So that should be enough to cover all of us for this month. Nails, don't need to worry about it, it's already been spent. Right, beauty, I've got an IOU in here. I'm going to put 100 into this one. This is like beauty and health. So this is things like makeup, skincare, tablets, that kind of thing. So it's going to put £100 in there, but I've got an IOU of 37.33. I'm going to round that up to 38. So it's 100 minus 37, no, 38. So 62 to go in there, and then I can get rid of that IOU. So 38 I need to put into spent on credit because that needs to pay off. So let's start with that one. That's 30, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Yeah, so that can go into my spent on credit file folder, and then 62 to go in here. 20, 40, 62. And hopefully that will stop us using IOUs and things like that where possible. Right, clothes, I have 150 to go in here because this has got to count for some school uniform to get for the kids for when they go back to school. But I've spent £51 and a penny on, we've got an IOU. So just because I'm not going to have the denominator, I'm going to round it up. So 150, I suppose if I rounded that one up, I could round this one down. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do 100. And get rid of that IOU. So 100, so it's 50 into spent on credit first. Do that. And then 100 into clothes. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. My daughter is okay for most of her uniform. My son, however, will need new trousers and shorts, not shorts, shirts. Because he is growing at a rapid rate. Birthdays is £50. 20, 40 and 50. Family fun is 100. So we upped it a little bit more this month being the summer holidays. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. But I might break that up a little bit. Let's go for some 10s and 5s. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. And then 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 and 30. There we go. That's 100 to go in there. Lovely. So, yeah. And then miscellaneous, I put 50 in there. 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. In fact, let's use the last of those fibres. Yeah. Hopefully we don't need to go into the miscellaneous file. Right then we've got the longer term ones. So I've got £20 going into my phone repair to get my screen fixed. That takes us up to 40, I believe, because I had to take from it to get my daughter's phone replaced. So let that build up. Pressure washer, £5. Oh, I need to split. Oh, no, £5 there, 10 there. That's going into spent on credit. And this one can finally come out. It was the pressure washer that we'd already bought rather than saved for it. Although I was beginning to save for it, but it came out in Aldi and, you know, on the special buys. So I didn't want to miss out. So yeah, I've been owing that back for the last few months, but it's all paid now. So that can go. Car maintenance is getting 100 this month. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So my husband's car will be due an MOT service and repairs in September. So let's see how we're doing and make sure that we've got enough here. So we've got in the bank 100, 20, 40 and 50, 150 there. And then in cash we've got 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 20, 40, 60, 82. So 350, and then if I put another 100, that'd be 450. Hopefully that will be enough to cover everything that we need to do to get that car through another year. House maintenance, I've got 100 to put in, but I've got an IOU. What's my IOU? £60 and 5 pence. Let's just round that down to 60. So I need to put 40 into, no, 60 into the spent on credit. Gosh, this is where I'm going to go wrong, isn't it? I don't know if anyone saw last month's one. Lost money, or I had extra money somewhere. I'm like, where did that come from? And then 40 to go into the envelope. Get rid of the IOU. 10, 20, 30, 40. Almost there. So no travel spending money because I have already accounted for it in our fun money. Holiday for next year, I'm putting in 60 this month. 20, 40, 50, 60. 60, yeah. So that's building up nicely. I think there's 100 in placeholder already. 20 in cash. 20, 40, 60, 80, 180 then. Ready to be building up for next year's holiday, which is all booked, needed to be paid for. Our anniversary trip for next year, 30. 10, 20, 30. And that makes sense now. What am I doing? That needs to go in the envelope. Silly sausage, honestly. Right, and then yeah, £5.50 to go for my pound challenge this week, or maybe for last week actually, because I'm a little bit behind from last week's pound challenge. So lovely, that does all make sense. Sorry about the shaking, everybody. I'm knocking the table as I was moving around there. Not helpful. And then in my spent on credit amount, I'm going to have 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 20, 30, 40, 50, 153. Lovely. That will make that Amex card look a little bit more healthy. Spent on credit, lovely. We'll get that into the bank and paid for. Perfect. Right, pound challenge. Let's have a look where we are up to. I've got £5.50 to put into it. Still have £13 to pay from last week, 20th of the 7th. So if I take £5.50 off 13, I'm not doing quick math. So I still need to pay £7.50. £7.50 for week 29. So what I will do is hopefully start looking at from next week, getting that one paid and this week's bond, and then preparing for the following one so that we are remaining on track. For I'm aiming to get £1,378 by the end of the year. So I'm going to pop that into the joint account folder and make sure then I transfer from the joint account to the Monzo account, the Monzo savings pot, where that money is sitting. Lovely. Hunky dory Jackanory, that's all then now nicely set up now for this week. Okay. Hope everyone has a fabulous week. Do like, subscribe, comment. I am happy to get some constructive feedback. If you think there's anything that I'm doing that you think I could do better in, I would welcome your thoughts. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week. Take care. Bye-bye.